when you see something that you really like and you put your hard work into, I think that's success.
Yeah.
Because you're proud of what you've created.
Absolutely.
You've just put all this work, all this effort. You spent hours learning how to do something, and you get this final image. I think that's success. You'll have people all the time that will tell you this photo is not good.
Yeah.
That this photo is unrealistic, whatever it may be, but this is your art.
Yeah.
This is what you've created, so that's success in and of itself.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is another episode of CanvasFab Conversations. I have my man with me, Pierce Gainey. Pierce.
How are you, Brian? Good to see
Great,
you.
man. Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
No, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Always love coming here.
Nice.
Get the creative juices flowing.
Right? Amazing. Pierce, thanks for actually taking the time. We've been in the works.
Definitely.
You know how the lifestyle of creatives can be: on the go, on the run, a gig
Always.
here, work.
Yep.
So we
Just
find
that balance, that fine balance.
Absolutely. We finally made it here, and we're really happy to be here to share this information with you. And we'll go ahead and jump right into it. We have an image that Pierce selected, and we'll go into the editing process. So without further ado, Pierce, go ahead and take control.
Let's go. So I'm just going to walk you through kind of my editing process here in Lightroom. It's the main program I use along with Photoshop.
Okay.
So we're just going to kind of walk through how I edit my photos and kind of how I figure out how the photo is going to look and, produce the final image.
Right. Now, before you start, do you kind of have a vision in mind of where you're going with a particular image?
Yeah.
Okay.
I for sure do, because when I'm flying the drone or I'm taking photos, whatever it may be, I have that photo in mind as soon as I see that subject. Whatever I'm shooting, I kind of envision that shot already.
Nice.
So I get excited to get home to edit that photo to kind of hopefully align what I have in my mind to what I have on the screen.
Your artist vision to the photo.
Exactly. So.
All right, nice. And you shoot in RAW, obviously.
Always RAW. You got to shoot in RAW because you want those colors to pop. You really want to keep all that data in the photo.
Of course.
So I've had times where I didn't realize the camera setting was set on JPEG. Came back and, the photos were still usable, but, it's not the same when you're shooting in RAW. So always shoot in RAW. Don't make the mistake like I did.
All right, awesome. So what's your first step?
So normally, obviously, you got to import the photos.
Right.
So I already imported one here. You open up Lightroom. It's produced by Adobe. It's a really powerful program where you can kind of manipulate photos to however you like. So what I normally do, obviously, you start by importing the photos. So here we have this girl. She's paddleboarding in Deerfield Beach, Florida.
Okay.
And so I kind of saw her in the distance, so I flew the drone over there, and shout out to this girl for posing when she doesn't realize it. But
nice.
So when I saw her, paddling over there in the water, obviously you can see this is straight from the camera, no edits, nothing. The water's beautiful.
Of course. Yeah.
So I saw her. What really I noticed here is this shadow. The shadow of her casting, onto the water really kind of gave it that unique perspective.
Right.
So there have been a couple other shots that I've taken of this same scene, different angles, different things like that. But this is the one that I really, enjoyed and kind of want to produce the final image with.
Okay.
So what I first do, I've created a couple different, what they call presets. These are things that kind of my base where I start.
Okay.
I apply that first. And that's kind of where I go from there.
Okay.
Then I tweak each setting differently, a little bit here, a little bit there, to get the final image.
Now we have, for example, a photographer that we work with. He loves to play with as much blue as possible.
Okay.
And then there's another photographer that loves to remove as much blue as possible.
Right.
So is there something that either you like to play with in terms of a particular color, or
It's for sure blue.
Okay.
If you look at my website, my Instagram, wherever it may be, you'll see all my photos are blue. I love the ocean. That's where I'm always at. So blue is definitely the one I like to hit on and to make sure that it's popping.
Nice. Okay. So this is what panel, I guess, are you primarily in, or what, I guess, are you normally tweaking in terms of Lightroom after you start with a preset?
Sure. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to start here with my Pierce Drone Water base here on the left-hand side. So I apply that, and that kind of, you see a little bit of a difference. It kind of hits on the blues. It really draws out the blues.
Is there a before and after?
Yes. So if we do a before and after, oop, that's not it. There's the before, the raw photo, and here's the after. So, you know, a little bit of a difference.
Right.
Not too much, but that's where I start. This is my base coat, basically. When you're painting, you put down that base layer, and then you add on top of it. So this is where I always start. So that's the preset, and obviously I have a few different ones depending on the situation and the photo.
Of course.
But this is usually like my go-to one.
Nice.
And then I come over here to the developed side, on here on the right-hand side. And this is where I start going through and tweaking every individual slider. Some don't apply, but most of the time you're tweaking all of these, and you have so many different options and things. You know, the panel goes on and on and on, where, you know, at first glance, it looks very intimidating, but, you know, the more you use it, the more you get used to, you know, the panels and sliders and what each one does.
What was like one of the, I guess, things to overcome when you first started in Lightroom, or like what was?
Just figuring out how this program works. I mean, anybody that's new in photography, or, you know, trying to edit their photos, you'll be overwhelmed,
right?
You know, because there's so many different tools within this one program, where you can just get lost. You can get stuck on using one thing, but, you know, there's so many different options that you can use in order to create that final image that you want.
Absolutely. I mean, just to name a few, right? Basically, exposure, contrast, brightness, saturation.
Exactly.
You know, and so levels, adjustments, et cetera, so on and so forth. So I guess the word of advice would be, take time, you know.
Learn the program.
Dedicate yourself to your craft.
Definitely.
And I'm sure this knowledge didn't come overnight.
Oh no, it's always constantly a work in progress. You know, these programs are always updating, adding new things to it. So you're always learning with these programs. You know, there's always so much to do on these. So yeah, learn it. Watch YouTube tutorials, ask people, ask me questions if you have any. Any
questions you have, please put them in the comments. We'll either try to create another video or reply back to you as soon as possible. If there's something else that you'd like to see, either in Lightroom, and Lightroom is your preferred editing? That's my preferred editing, and then I usually take it over to Photoshop to kind of do some final tweaks, bring it back into Lightroom to finish it all off. Nice. But yeah, Lightroom I would definitely recommend. It's, you know, kind of the industry standard. 99% of photographers use Lightroom or Adobe products to either edit their photos or and we're
videos.
Not sponsored by them.
Not sponsored, but if you want to sponsor, let us know.
Now, I want to touch base on your story of, you know, being a creative and like your background. Kind of had like a push or something like that gravitated you towards photography or like that creative aspect? Yeah, it's funny. When I was younger, my mom, I was going on a class field trip. She gave me a little disposable camera to take along. Hey, you wind it, you know, you take your photos, and then, you know, you bring it into, at the time we'd bring them into CVS or Walgreens, you know, and they develop them. So that's where it all started. Just, you know, with film, you don't know what, you take the photo and you won't know what it looks like till after you get it developed. Of course. But that's kind of where it started, and, you know, just from there it progressed. Yeah, yeah. So with that disposable camera, you eventually got into drones, which is your, I would say, like almost forte right now, right? Oh yeah, that's my bread and butter. So how was it that you, because you also have, and you touched about your story that when you first got a drone, like you had to create your own gimbal and, you know. Oh yeah. So how did you kind of get into your first drone? I saw I saw them like come out, and, you know, I kind of stay on top of tech stuff and camera stuff that's coming out, and at the time when I figured out drones were brand new, you know, it was just able to fly.
You know, the first drone I bought had no camera installed. It was just a drone that you could fly like as a toy.
Right.
But it had a spot where you can attach your own gimbal. And what the gimbal does is it keeps the camera steady. So you can tilt and pan and whatever. You know, so it keeps the gimbal steady as you're flying, so you don't have all those jitters and movements. You know, it's just a stable structure.
Right.
So when I first bought it, it had no gimbal, it had nothing. And I was like, this is really awesome, but I want people to see the perspective from above.
Of course.
So I researched and found the right gimbal, put it together, installed it myself. You had to connect wires into the drone. Like I was afraid I was going to break my drone, you know, because at that time it was a lot of money for me.
Yeah, of course.
I'd been saving up for it, and you know, it was the thing I really wanted.
And it's interesting, you know, like we take risks, you know, being creatives, like either with tech, you know, like sometimes we make a purchase and either it works out or sometimes it doesn't. You know, we lose it, we mess it up. And it's a part of the process, you know, like that experimentation process or that hands-on experience, I'm sure taught you things.
Oh, definitely.
For your next drone.
Yeah, after I crashed it too, it definitely brought experience. So.
Right. And so what was one of the, I guess, like things to overcome when you first got into drones or?
Well, the first drone I had, I strapped a GoPro on it.
Wow. Okay.
So with the GoPro, it's not, nowadays you have this controller where you can do all the controls right here, you know, but the GoPro, I had to literally launch the drone, walk up to the drone, click record on the GoPro, then go back to my controller and fly it and hopefully capture what I'm seeing.
Like the angle or
yeah, because I have no screen. I don't know what the drone is seeing. You know, with the GoPro, it's got that wide field of view, so hopefully you get the shot.
Right.
So that was definitely a big thing that I had to overcome is just, you know, you have a shot in mind and then you come back and it's not even there. What you imagined is not even remotely close, especially with the GoPro, because I didn't know what I was filming.
Yeah.
So that was definitely, you know, a big step. But finally they came out with new and better drones. So.
Yeah, you know, and it's crazy how it, once again, right? You know, you have these experiences, you're hoping to get something and you don't necessarily get what you're hoping for. But that's photography. That's being a creative. Is all right. If you try and it doesn't work out, you can try again.
Try again.
Try again. Try again. Try again. And I've seen. I mean, since I met you the first time, it's been about a year now, right?
Right.
And I have seen progression from those first images even to now with 1 year worth of time. So and you're on it on a consistent basis.
Right.
So that's just a testament to anyone. If whatever you do, if you're consistent at it, that you will eventually get the results that you want.
Definitely. I mean, you just got to keep hitting on it. I look at my stuff from 3 years ago and it's completely different to where I'm at now.
Right.
You know, and you learn from that. It's the creative processes that you go through constantly to learn and kind of shape your style.
What do you kind of portray, or what do you like the voice or the message behind your photos? You know, like what is the passion that drives your photography?
Yeah, it's more of the creative process in it. You know, I really enjoy taking the photo, editing it, and, you know, displaying it for everyone to see. So, you know, I just want my photos to, you know, represent the beauty in this world.
Absolutely.
You know, God's creation is just so spectacular and beautiful. It's like I want everybody to see it. You know, some people, you know, might live in a landlocked state where they have no water.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, with these photos, I hope it kind of gives them the perspective and the view, so they kind of yearn to want to come to Florida or go where there's a beach. I don't know, whatever it may be, but that's kind of where I want people to see my photos and to really like invoke emotion almost. So what's your background? Like, where are you from? I'm from here, South Florida.
Okay.
So I was born in South Florida. My family, we kind of moved around a lot. Moved up to Georgia for a little bit, and then moved to Jacksonville. Now I'm back down here. So
water has kind of almost always been a part of your life.
Always been. The whole family's kind of like watermen, waterwomen too. So we love the beach, we love the water, surfing, spearing, diving, all that good stuff. Just being in the water is just so relaxing for me.
I'm sure that that's also what gives you inspiration as well.
Definitely, 100%. I mean, there'll be days where stressed out from work or stressed out with life, things that are going on.
Right, and we're human.
Exactly, it happens. So I go to the beach, and all those things just kind of float away, pun intended.
Right.
But you know, it's just being there relaxes me.
Right.
It really kind of
Roots you almost.
exactly.
And speaking of rooting, is there anything else that kind of you do outside of photography?
Oh yeah, I love tinkering and crafting. I make candles, homemade candles, so they smell pretty good. I think Brian can attest to that.
Wow. Yeah, as a matter of fact, because these smell amazing. And I'm not just, I mean, it's hard to describe scents
Over
through
the
video.
camera.
But yeah, I mean, however you make these, fantastic.
Yeah.
I like candles personally. I've gone to, you know, TJ Maxx and these different like kind of like craft stores, right? And it's amazing how some of these candles can be so expensive.
So expensive.
So expensive.
And that's where I kind of got the passion to make them, is because I really enjoyed this one scent.
Yeah.
Like
that one that we just smelled.
That one we just smelled. I labeled it Typhoon. I don't know, it sounded cool. But I smelled the original, and they were selling it for like $30 a candle. And I just thought to myself, I can't afford that. I can't like put my money to a candle that I know I'm just gonna burn through so quickly.
Right.
So I was like, I'm gonna learn how to make it. So I went online.
So I'm assuming your house must smell really good.
Oh yeah, I got candles always burning. It's just get home, light a candle, you just enjoy the scents.
Yeah,
you know?
no, true, absolutely. I mean, it's a part of it too. Like it's it actually changes the atmosphere, the environment, the lighting, of course. You know.
Yeah. And then I also brew my own beer. Now that's a process. One little thing, one little mistake could ruin the whole batch.
Wow. How big are batches normally?
I did a 5-gallon bucket.
Wow.
So that produced like 48, 50 beers. So that was a fun learning experience.
Nice. How many times have you done that?
I've done it only once.
Okay.
But I plan on doing it again, because it is a lot of time and effort that goes into it. But
and it's almost too like kind of when you start picking up different projects, like eventually everything kind of reconnects almost.
Oh, definitely.
You know, like your candle project somehow will be integrated with your photography.
Right.
But taking a break between different projects also helps you when you come back to the project.
Oh, definitely.
You're working on your candles, you're working on scents, and you never know, the scents may trigger a sight, a vision, or something that you may want to photograph or put.
Definitely. I agree with that completely.
So it's almost like, Pierce, you are a skilled photographer, but more so you're an artist.
Right.
And it's kind of bringing us to CanvasFab.com and the things that you've been putting or allowed us to collaborate.
Definitely.
On our website, you've seen the collection, or if you haven't seen, go to CanvasFab.com and check out Pierce's collection. It's a very, very refreshing point of view, your photography.
Right.
I mean, in this example with the angle and understanding your editing process, it shows that much more of an artist that you are. So anyone that is a photographer, also see yourself as an artist, because you know what you see in the viewfinder is just a piece of what the final outcome can become.
Exactly.
So when we talk about becoming now, where do you see yourself in 5 years from now, or what do you kind of hope to be working on?
Right. You know, I definitely want to stay in drones. These things are getting better and better, smaller and smaller, as you can see with this one. You know, I hope to progress with drones and photography as well. I mean, photography, drones, all that is ever progressing. Every year it seems like they're coming out with something new, and then my wallet gets thinner because I have to have it. But, you know, like I was saying earlier, I kind of look back at my previous photos, and you can kind of see that drastic change, you know, of where you were at that point and where you are now. And I hope, you know, the same thing, you know, 5 years from now, I look back at today, you know, as we're filming this and editing this photo, I'll be like, wow, I could have done this so much differently. I could have, you know, done this a little bit differently and created a whole new image. So I hope to be ever learning with the process and the photos, and, you know, learn from what I've done in the past.
Absolutely. No, that's amazing. That kind of leads into me asking, you know, what your definition of success is.
You know, I think it's whatever you make of it. You know, when you see something that you really like and you put your hard work into, you know, I think that's success.
Yeah.
Because you're proud of what you've created.
Absolutely.
You've just put all this work, all this effort. You spent hours learning how to do something, and you get this final image. I think that's success. You'll have people all the time that will tell you this photo is not good.
Yeah.
That this photo is unrealistic, whatever it may be, but this is your art.
Yeah.
This is what you've created, so that's success in and of itself.
Absolutely.
You know?
And with success, it almost comes with having a confidence, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Being really confident in the work that you're putting out there and the things that
Definitely.
you're doing, believe in yourself, because, you know, I interviewed someone else and they said every no just makes that much more room for the yes.
Yep.
So, you know,
Definitely.
you have to almost grow some thick skin.
You do.
Because the internet could be a fine and nice place at times, but it's also could be a very kind of disturbing and sometimes even depressing place to be.
Yeah.
And it just means that your mentality and your mindset should be focused on your work, your progression, and
Right.
your definition of success.
Definitely. You'll always have haters out there.
Absolutely.
And the way I see it is they're hating on you because they're not in the position you're at.
100%.
You know? So they're just upset that they're not where you're at and want to be kind of where you want to be. So, you know, you just have to, like you say, grow thick skin, kind of get over it, move past it, because those people don't determine what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So is there any other words of encouragement maybe that you would give anyone either that's wanting to follow a creative path or it's already on that path?
Just stick with it, man. Just keep going. Don't let other people shape what you do. Like, this is your passion, whatever it may be. Stick to it. Keep doing it. You know, you don't want to let other people determine your path.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I think my photos are great. There'll be people out there that don't. But, you know, it's something I love. So don't be afraid to put out what you've created. Like I said, you always have people that don't like it. But as long as you like it, you're proud of it,
Absolutely.
you're confident in it, then that's all that matters.
Definitely. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of CanvasFab Conversations featuring Pierce Gainey. If you don't already follow him, please hit that follow button, that blue follow button on Instagram.
Appreciate it.
At Pierce Gainey. You can follow us at CanvasFab. Check out our website and Pierce's collection at canvasfab.com. Every sale plants a tree. Every sale commissions Pierce to continue his adventures and to grow as a photographer and an artist.
Right.
We'll have hopefully another video.
Oh, definitely. This is just the beginning.
Yeah.
We got a lot of things planned. We got things in the works.
Yeah. So if you have any other questions for Pierce about his editing process, his gear, feel free to drop a comment. If you also have any feedback or any other questions, please leave them in there below.
Message me on Instagram, my website, whatever it may be. I'm here to help.
Your website
I love helping
is?
people. PierceGainey.com.
Awesome.
Simple. Everything I try to keep uniform. If you want to smell some of my candles, come see Brian. Come over to the shop. Check out the photos.
Definitely.
We got some that just printed out here that look pretty rad.
Awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again. We appreciate your support, taking the time to watch this video.
Much appreciated.
And listen to our very intellectual conversation.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Pierce. It was a pleasure.
Definitely. Always a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
This place is the best.
And we'll see you around.
See ya.